Hey YouTube family, welcome back to another video. Today's video is fully dedicated to the core and the abs. I will be taking you through my current workout, and yeah, it's just such a good one. Honestly, I've been doing it like every week and it feels amazing. And I'm joking. I'm straight up joking. Let's be honest, let's be real. The core or the abs is an area that is very often neglected. And I can speak for myself, but I'm definitely sure that I'm not only speaking for myself, but for a lot of other people. This is an area we tend to skip on, and that can be because you don't like to do those types of exercises or you suck at it. For me personally, it's just I have other preparations when it comes to my training, like my upper body or my lower body. And by the end of the week, when I have completed all of my workouts, I'm just so tired that, I don't even think about training that area. But this is definitely something I want to work on for myself because it's so important. Oh my God, it's so important, and it's definitely something that you just cannot skip on. You just cannot do this to your body because it's literally the foundation of everything. There are like two body parts that I tend to skip on quite often, and first we have our core and abs, and then second I have my calves. I always get comments from you guys, maybe not specifically you, but from my following on social media, like, dude, where are your calves? I know. They are a little bit, like just a little bit underdeveloped compared to my quads or just my legs in general. But the truth is, and oh my God, I hope there's someone in the comments that perhaps has a solution for my problem, but whenever I train my calves, I get cramps in my stomach. Can somebody please explain why I am dealing with this? Because this is honestly like one of the main reasons why I would rather skip them than training them, because it's very uncomfortable, and yeah, I just get like a sort of sick feeling. Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps you have an explanation to this. I've been Googling it and I haven't come across a explanation so far. So yeah, before we move on, I want to clarify one thing, and that is we have abs and we have core. And what I found is that a lot of people think these are the same. But the truth is, it's absolutely not the same. The abs are just a very tiny part of the core, and they are just not the same. The abs, which are also seen as the six-pack, they are located here in front of the stomach. Another term for this is the rectus abdominis. Everyone has them, but for some people they are a little bit more visible than for others, and this completely is determined by your overall body fat levels, okay? So for example, I have it here, but it's a little bit covered with a layer of fat. They used to be more visible a couple of years ago, but yeah, that's not how it is today, and that's fine. Then another thing I just wanted to clarify is just because someone has a very visible six-pack doesn't mean they have a very strong core. This is also something that can be genetically gifted. But yeah, this is definitely something that you should keep in mind. So yeah, that apart, we have the abs and we have the core. The abs have not a lot of functions or benefits to your everyday movement. The only function the abs have is when you bend forward and you're flexing your lumbar spine. That's it. When it comes to the core, and that is why I really wanted to make this video and really emphasize the importance of implementing core training into your routines. The core is considered here your midsection, 360 degrees, and involves 20 different muscles, including your lower back, your stomach, your pelvis, and your hips. So it's basically this entire area. It's also located right into the middle of your body, so you can imagine how important it is just for stability and keep an upright position. See it as your core that supports the deepest central part of your body. Now, to just name a couple of benefits and ways you're using your core in your daily activities, think of, for example, you pick something up. You're walking, you're running, you're weightlifting, any movement, whether that's bending forwards, backwards, sidewards, it all involves the core. And when your core is weak, you will most likely suffer with lower back pain or imbalances. Although I don't train my core specifically, like separately from my other workouts, I do have a quite strong core at this moment. And you might think like, oh my God, like how is this even possible if you're not like really training it? Well, you're actually training your core muscles way more often than you might think. The core is involved in a lot of movements you do. And when it comes to weightlifting, think of compound movements, which involves multiple muscle groups at the same time. Your core is engaged all the time, like all the time. Think of a squat, a deadlift, a lunge, a overhead press, bend over row. It all starts with bracing your core and keeping a neutral spine. And since my workouts are mostly based around compound movements, yeah, I've been training my core actually a lot throughout the past years. But it's never bad to, isolate it a little bit more often separately, aside from your usual compound movements, because you can never have enough strength in that area. It can only benefit you in the long run. Also, just because my workouts have always been very focused on compound movements, I think this is also a reason why until this day I've never experienced any lower back pain, even though I can squat 140 kilos for 3 reps or do 100 kilos for 15 reps. So it doesn't really matter whether I go high or low rep, very heavy or a little bit less heavy. It doesn't matter what lower body exercise I do. I always feel it in the right places, and I'm sure that having a neutral spine and really, have a good strength in this area helps me a lot during my workouts. But as I said, aside from this, I really want to focus more on that area and strengthen it even more. And I will take you guys through 5 really amazing exercises that can help you strengthen your core. And no, they are not sit-ups. They are not sit-ups, because sit-ups are great to train your abs. But as I said, training your abs is just this part. We want to focus on this entirely midsection, okay? So if you're excited to see the exercises, then keep on watching, and meanwhile give the video a thumbs up, and yeah, let's have a look. The first exercise we will be doing is called a bird dog. I will do a voiceover since that's way easier for me to do it while I can focus on, my breathing during the exercises. Now, when it comes to breathing during your core exercises, it's actually very simple. So basically what you want to do is when your core muscles are fully contracted, this is a time where you need to exhale, and then when you come back to your original position, or where they are, lengthened, this is where you need to inhale, okay? The right breathing technique has a lot of impact on basically every exercise we do, but when it comes to core training, it's even more important because it will definitely determine whether you feel the core muscles working or not. For the bird dog, you want to start in a quadruped position on all fours. Hands should be placed shoulder width apart and directly under your shoulders. Move your knees so they are in line with your hands. Then squeeze your shoulder blades together and squeeze your abs. By now, your spine should be a straight line and may not be rounded. When you're all set, raise one arm straight out. Make sure to keep it in line with your torso. At the same time, lift the opposite leg while contracting your glutes. Hold for a second, then bring your elbow and knee together in a controlled movement. For the dead bug, start by laying down on your back with your knees bent. Then lift your legs so your knees are directly over your hips, performing a 90-degree angle with the floor. Press your lower back into the floor so there is no gap between your back and the surface. Then raise your arms until they are right above your shoulders, hands pointing towards the ceiling. Engage your core, then push one leg out straight forward just a couple of centimeters above the floor. Hold and then return back to your original position. For the Russian twist, sit down, bend your knees out in front of you. You can choose to either lift your feet or keep your heels resting on the floor, which is a bit of a more beginner-friendly variation. Take the dumbbell or another attribute, then lean your torso backwards until you feel your abdominal muscles engaging. This should approximately be a 45-degree angle from the floor. Make sure to keep your torso straight as well. Then keep the dumbbell close to your body and twist your torso from one side to the other in a controlled movement. For the one-arm plank, start in a push-up position. Place elbows slightly wider than shoulder width apart directly under your shoulders. Then extend your legs and place your feet also a little bit wider than shoulder width. Your body weight is now resting on your elbows and your toes. Then squeeze your glutes and core to create full body tension. Your back should form one straight line, so make sure your butt doesn't rise up or your pelvis doesn't dip down. Keep your face down so your neck is in a neutral position, then raise one arm for as long as you can while maintaining the plank. For the plank pull through, start in a push-up position. Make sure there is a dumbbell or similar attribute placed a few centimeters away of the outside of the right hand. Then place hands slightly wider than shoulder width apart directly under your shoulders. Then you want to extend your legs and place your feet also a little bit wider than shoulder width. Your body weight is now resting on your hands and your toes. Then squeeze your glutes and core to create full body tension. Your back should form one straight line, so make sure your butt doesn't rise up or your pelvis doesn't dip down. Keep your face down so your neck is in a neutral position, then lift one arm and pull the dumbbell across the floor under your body to the left side, then return back to the plank. I only did 1 minute of every exercise, or approximately 1 minute, and oh my gosh, the way I'm feeling my core muscles working is just insane. Now I am in a position to tell you that, guys, this is such a good core workout, because I did it myself. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. I really hope it was helpful, at least for one of you watching. And yeah, give the exercises a go. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Bye.